Oftentimes it's hard to believe that this is real. I started the business in my attic.
My favorite piercing.
It was very, very challenging. God, fundraising is awful. People tell you that you're an idiot over and over and over again. I was being told that the business idea wasn't big enough.
Wow, that wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't far enough along. It was not going to be successful, and I had to continue to believe in myself and not get too down, but that was really hard. My name is Louisa Serene Schneider, and I left a career on Wall Street to form a next-generation ear piercing company focused on safety called Rowan. In 2024, my company brought in about $70 million in revenue. Ear piercing can be really scary and it can cause anxiety.
We use these cold packs for some of our patients who faint or get dizzy or nauseated with needles.
And nurses are very, very trained on how to anticipate that and when it is occurring to intercept and ensure that everyone there is safe.
There's a process that every nurse has to go through, practices that they have to complete. It is scrutinized for both safety, accuracy, that we're giving the right information on the healing process and how to take care of the piercing once they leave the studio.
This actually is my part-time gig. It's a getaway here. It's like probably my favorite time of the week.
Rowan was not a side hustle. I intentionally left my job on Wall Street. It was a great job, it was a high-paying job, and it was the first time in my life that I hadn't had a full-time job, so I was actually terrified. Just prior to starting Rowan, I was working at a hedge fund. The thesis was shorting malls. So essentially every Class B and C mall across the country I was going and walking. These malls weren't healthy, lots of cracks in the concrete and trash outside. With that said, most of them had an ear piercing company that were pretty busy. And at that time, I had a young daughter and was thinking about getting her ears pierced, and I knew I did not want to take her there. And our pediatrician didn't pierce ears.
Okay, we can come on over in the chair. It's nice and clean, ready for you.
My parents are both doctors, and I knew that for our family, ear piercing was a medical procedure, and I really wanted it to be done safely. And that is where the idea for Rowan was born. A lot of people looked at me as if I was crazy, and they didn't see ear piercing or earrings or jewelry as a real business. We did that because I didn't have the money to build out a proper store at the time. And it happened to coincide with COVID, which certainly helped us because the nurse was able to go to people's homes and pierce outdoors. In the early days, Rowan was funded with my savings, and I had a friend that helped me get started, and she also contributed to the business. And then we were fortunate to have angel investors who helped us continue prior to getting institutional funding. Male investors are typically the allocators of capital, and they didn't understand the importance of this milestone, and they weren't investing in it. So while there are existing piercing companies that have been with us since the 1960s and even earlier, they have not been reinvested in. The experience has not changed or evolved. And I knew that that was a huge opportunity to go ahead and dive into.
Oh my God. So beautiful. Let's try not to touch. Let's try not to touch.
We raised money over a period of years. One of my vivid memories is a family vacation to San Francisco where I was called by one of my early investors who said, "You really can't miss this opportunity to meet these 4 or 5 venture funds." And so my husband kindly took my kids, and I had my pitch book, and I was very enthusiastic and excited. And with each meeting, after being told no repeatedly, I became more and more kind of sad, and beaten down a little bit. Not only was I missing my family vacation, but I was being told that the business idea was not going to be successful because I wasn't going to, like a restaurant, have recurring customers every week. When I knew that there was always a new grade of third graders, there were always babies being born, and people were getting lots of piercings. They were building a full, beautiful ear stack so that they could celebrate themselves. There were many days when I wanted to give up, and I would just have to keep going. And ultimately, that got us to where we needed to be. We raised money over a period of years. We raised about $5 million in seed capital. Then we went on to raise a Series A in 2021 in the spring. And by that fall, we raised a Series B, which was a $20 million Series B. And we decided to leave because our own studios were so much more profitable. It's hard to do a lot of different things. So for us to build an experience in Target, but also build our own experience in our own stores, was virtually impossible to do simultaneously. And ultimately, we looked at the numbers, and it was a clear winner that we pursue the business within our own four walls and build out our own stores. If you have an idea and you're passionate about it, it shouldn't matter if you're a male or a female founder. Ultimately, you are a founder, you are a CEO, and you should have confidence in that. And if your business can make money and it can grow a following and it can serve a need in the industry, then you'll have a very successful business. Every time I see a piercing and the smile afterwards and the clapping and the joy of the family, that's when I know we're successful. It really is about the joy that we're bringing.